I'm Daniel Rowe. I'm the Executive General Manager of ESG at Cirka. My role is really to integrate our ESG strategy into our service deliveries, building it in over a long period of time, making sure it's spread across and that the clients see the benefits without a significant impact on the service delivery. Cirka is currently a facility services company based here in Australia and the UK. We've got over 3,000 staff nationally. Sustainability for us is really important and we embed it into our service, mitigating our environmental impacts, making sure we're looking at our GHG emissions and making sure our service is as efficient as possible. Our journey around GHG emissions started in 2022. We came up with the commitment that we would be net zero and submit an SBTI, which we've just completed. It's been a big focus for us because we understand that the consumers' expectations are growing around GHG emissions, and it's really important for us to make sure that our service aligns to that and our suppliers are engaged in this process as well. Before using Sumday, we had a lot of spreadsheets and data everywhere, and it was kind of a challenge for us to kind of map our inventory, get our operational boundary right. The barriers to entry into the GHG inventory and managing our emissions was really around how do we capture that data, how do we know that the data can be audited and validated, and also what were we going to do in terms of how we engage our supply chain. And we know now that Sumday is the provider that we needed, and it gives us a great opportunity to really dig deeper into our supply chain engagement. We first heard about Sumday at the Sustainability Reporting Summit. We saw a presentation from Jess and the team, and what we were looking for was a partner who could help us in our engagement of our suppliers. We knew that our supply chain had a significant amount of our Scope 3 emissions, and we knew that those suppliers probably had very little exposure to GHG inventory and capturing that information. So we needed someone who could provide that support, and Sumday made the most sense in terms of what we were after. We had such a great opportunity working with Sumday in terms of being able to just put that all into one place, making sure the data was ready, made sure the emissions factors were correct. So the onboarding process with Sumday was seamless. We didn't have any challenges, and the team were really receptive and supportive in engaging with us. We didn't give ourselves a lot of time in terms of providing the data and building it out for our SBTI submission. So we were really thankful that we had a really engaged partner. The features of the platform that have been really helpful is the ability for us to look at those emissions factors and put that data into the system in a relatively straightforward way. We've also used a lot of the training and education pieces that have been there. And it's been great to upskill some of the team in terms of the access to that information. The video content and the written content is really easy to digest, and it makes our life super easy when we're engaging our finance team to capture that data. Internal buy-in and approval came from the ability for us to show the data in one place and show that it was clear that we needed to engage our suppliers. Over 70% of our emissions sit in our Scope 3, so it was clear for us to make any sort of reduction plan and to meet our commitments we'd already made in SBTI, we needed to engage our supply chain. We've included a benefit to our suppliers who are going to engage in the process by giving them access to some discounts in terms of some software and some other things that they might need to run their business. We know that running a business in Australia and the UK can be really tough, so giving them an incentive to be part of this process has been really important, and we've been thankful that Sumday has worked with their partners to make sure that those are available to our suppliers. A lot of our clients are currently facing the incoming regulations around sustainability reporting and mandatory disclosures around GHG. So we've been able to provide that information to them, which has been really helpful, and that wouldn't have been possible without Sumday and the ability to break it down by contract. We've captured all the information from a supply chain perspective and our own emissions via contract, which is considerable in terms of the information we can provide our clients. Since 2022, sustainability has become a clear focus of what we're trying to do, and it's part of our unique value proposition for our clients. Our ESG program is no longer considered something that's a tick box exercise. It's something that's executed within our contracts. It's something that we truly believe in, and we continue to engage our clients and provide opportunities through partnerships like Sumday to make sure that it's an aligned opportunity. Carbon accounting in our business will evolve pretty significantly because of the expectations around mandatory reporting, but also we want to get really granular with our data, the ability for us to track the changes in our activity to make sure that those emissions are being reduced in line with our SBTI, but also to be able to provide that feedback around changes to service to our clients is really important for us to show that we're not just setting targets and offsetting them, we're setting targets and we're making changes to our service to make sure we're mitigating that environmental impact. The advice I would give to other businesses starting their carbon accounting journey is probably just to start. I know that's a really simple thing to say, but you've got to start somewhere.